Hey everybody, welcome to another video. I thought I'd give you a change of scenery today. We're going to be in the backyard, my backyard, and actually I just recorded an entire video for you, and when I went to play it back, the whole thing was in fast forward, no sound, so I have no idea what happened. It might have accidentally got into time-lapse mode, but we're going to try it again and see if I can get it to work this time, because I'm going to be going on a camping trip next week, so I wanted to make sure to get one more video out to you before then. So what I had in mind today is to do some seated and down on the mat self-massage techniques that you can use for those tense and tight areas that we all tend to get. So hopefully not too much noise out here for you. Husband's doing some plumbing work inside the house, so I thought I'd bring you out back with me. So we're going to start with our chair stretches and self-massage. Now be sure, of course, as always, you have your water and you're staying hydrated. It's been really hot the last few days, so make sure you're staying hydrated, very important. And then starting with your chair exercises, make sure that you have a nice sturdy chair here. We're going to go through a few things seated, and then for those of you that are comfortable being down on the mat on the floor, we're going to do some variations on that also. So just sitting comfortably in your chair, I'm just going to start with some neck stretches and self-massage. So just moving side to side through a comfortable range of motion. You can expand it if that feels okay, it's up to you. And then on all of these stretches and self-massage, you can continue for longer if you'd like to. Go ahead and move into an up and down, nodding the head yes. But you can continue these for longer if you want to spend some more time on it. Alright, and then moving into our self-massage for the neck. The first one I'm going to do is just the back of the neck right below where your skull is. So just taking a couple of fingers on each side and just little circles there. Everybody has different tense areas, but a lot of us get tightness in the neck, shoulders, upper traps. So I'm just making little circles there. Always control your pressure so that it doesn't feel actually painful. We just want to be releasing tension from the muscles. Change direction. So I'm going to use both hands for this part, and then I'm going to switch to one hand for doing the sides and the front. All right, and then just moving down towards your shoulders. Again, you can just do those gentle circles if you want to. Find those areas that have the most tension, the most tightness. Spend a little bit more time there. Go both ways with it. Alright, and then moving on to the side of the neck, I'll just do one side at a time. So this area on the side of the neck, from the ear down to the collarbone, a lot of times that'll get really tight. So make sure that your shoulder is relaxed all the way down. You can tilt your head away from it a little bit if you want to. And just bring those fingers from the ear to the shoulder. So just a long movement here, kind of just moving all that tension out of the neck. Going into this area right above the collarbone, like when somebody's giving you a shoulder massage, you can do that yourself. You're going to have your thumb in the front, right above your collarbone, and then your other fingers, you're just gripping it and giving yourself a little neck massage there, a little shoulder rub. So again, just finding those areas that are tight for you. You can move your head away from it if you want, or just stay neutral. A little squeeze there. If you have a chance to get a massage now, and you feel comfortable with that, that's an option for you. But if not, and you want to just do a few things at home, I'm going to give you just a few things that you can do here. All right, so same thing on the other side, starting with the side of the neck. Find that scaling area. It's tight. Yeah, I even had tater made a cameo in the first recording, so it's too bad it didn't come out, but it was just going fast forward through the entire thing, so I'm not sure what happened there. I had the whole video recorded, but it didn't record right. Alright, and then going on to the next part again, thumb in the front, right above your collarbone, and your other fingers in the back, just giving yourself a nice shoulder massage there. If it feels okay, you can kind of dig that thumb into the muscles right there. That's a common tight area also. And just make sure that you're just breathing comfortably through it. Alright, and then just releasing that out. Let's do a few just movement stretches here. So just starting with our shoulder rolls, we always go front to back so that we're opening up the chest. And then relax the shoulders down, circling the wrists gently. And circling the other way. And then nice and loose, side to side. Start with the dynamic and then we'll go into holding each side. Then go ahead and turn and hold, looking over the shoulder. And same thing on the other side, turn and hold. Alright, come back to center. Okay, so let's move on to some tight areas in the lower body. So we're going to do both stretches and self-massage for those areas. So starting with our figure 4 stretch, remember that you have the option to just cross the ankles over if this is too much for you. And then also make sure that you're not just hunching over. We want to keep the back lengthened out and hip hinge forward. Leaning down into that stretch. Take your time with it. If it's tight, you don't have to force it. And come back up. Alright, so let's do a few self-massage things here. So we're going to start with the foot. Of course, the basic one is just doing the foot massage with the thumbs on the sole of the foot and the fingers on the top, going up and down. From the toes to the heel back down, and again, do this as long as you want to. If you want to do lots of this, whatever feels good to you. Now a little bit of mobility here. So we're going to move the foot. There's lots of bones in the foot. We're going to move it so that we're kind of arching back and forth with the toes. Of course, if you have any pain in your feet, just make sure that you're not doing anything that causes pain to the joints or any problems that you have in your feet. And then go side to side. So it's kind of like you're just wringing a washcloth out here. And then while we're here, we're going to do a couple of stretches also. So the first one is for the front of the ankle and the shin. This actually gets tight a fair amount of the time, and we don't tend to stretch it. So you're going to take your hand, just provide a little traction, and press the toes down. So you're lengthening out this area on the front of the ankle. Now, if that's very painful, release that out, because you might be really tight there if you're not stretching that regularly. So if you need to release that out, just take a few seconds at a time. Just do what you can with it. And then we're going to go the other way and just bring the toes back up towards the shin. So stretching the heel, or excuse me, stretching the Achilles and the calf muscles. All right, let's go ahead and go back to our massage. We're going to do the calves next. So it's kind of that kneading dough movement where you're just going up and down between the ankle and the back of the knee. Just going back and forth. These can all be done down on your mat as well, of course. And again, do as many of these as you want, and then move on to the hamstring. So you can put your foot down if you're feeling more comfortable with that position. It's completely up to you. And these again can be done down on the floor on the mat. Alright, so I want to show you the kneeling lunge stretch. We do this quite a bit in class, but I want to make sure that we go over this for quadricep and the hip flexor. So feel free to hang on to the chair. Remember that you don't have to bring the knee all the way down. Just go to a comfortable stretch, but if you want a little bit more, that downward leg can be back a bit further. So we're going for that stretch in the front of the thigh, that hip flexor. Good. All right, so let's come back to center, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to start with that figure 4 stretch. Again, you have the option to cross the ankles if you need to do the modification. And remember that we're going to lengthen the spine and lean forward. We're not going to hunch around. We don't want to re-tighten up that neck and shoulders. You're just going to slowly move into your stretch. Just breathe and see if you can relax into it. Slowly come back up. All right, so let's do the foot massage part again. Thumbs on the sole of the foot, going up and down, just as many times as you want to. You can go all the way out to the toes if you want to do that. This also will help with your foot mobility too. All right, and then again, we're going to move the toes down and back. Got this helicopter that keeps flying over for some reason. It's been going back and forth. So that 3 or 4 times, and then the side to side. So again, it's just kind of like wringing out a washcloth. Just working on mobilizing all those little bones in the foot. Okay, and then let's do our stretch for the shin and the front of the ankle. So again, you're going to use your hand as traction, just pressing down, stretching out this area right here. Again, if it's super tight or super painful, just release that out and just do as much as you can. And then let's go the other direction to stretch the calf and the Achilles. So toes back up towards the shin. And release that out, and then go ahead and do your calf massage. So again, you're just kneading the muscle, going all the way. So all the way from the ankle to the back of the knee, up and down as many times as you want to. And then same thing with your hamstring stretch. Just going up and down on the muscle. Again, foot down if you're feeling like you've had too much of a stretch in your hip area. Go ahead and bring your foot back down at any point. Okay, and let's do our kneeling lunge stretch on this side. So opening up through the quadricep hip flexor, same thing, knee down as far as you want and knee back as far as you want. So you're opening up. If you've been sitting a lot, those hip flexors are going to shorten and get tighter. So just giving you a seated option. I will show you the down on the mat option here in a little bit. Okay, good. So let's just do a couple of things behind the chair here. I want to show you a variation on the calf stretch. So something that we do a lot in class is just doing the split stance. Oh, there comes Tater Tot. Yay, he made another cameo. So this is a very good stretch with just the foot back, pressing down through the heel, front knee in your chair. But I wanted to show you another option that you can either use the chair, or a really good option that I don't have available to show you here is doing this in the door frame. So hang on to your chair if you're using a chair. The idea is to get your heel in as close as you can, and then the bottom of your foot, the sole of your foot, is going up either the chair leg or the inside of the door frame. Now, using shoes will give you more traction here, so if you find that you're not getting a lot of traction here, or you can't get your heel in very close, try doing it with shoes. That will give you a little bit more stability. Now, the first part of this is just bending at the ankle only. So we're going to keep the knee straight, starting with that upper calf, that gastrocnemius stretch. And then the second part is starting to bend the knee in. So now you're working down to that a chance, try it on the door frame because you really get good traction there. All right, let's do the other side. Remember, the goal is to get the heel in as close as you can to either the chair leg or the inside of the door frame there. Your foot is going up, your toes are going up. You're going to feel a nice strong stretch there. You can lean into it a little bit. And then we're starting with the legs straight. Get that gastrocnemius stretch. And after a few seconds of that, you can bend the knee in a little bit here so that you're going to feel it drop down. Soleus and Achilles stretch. Again, the other stretch, the lunge position stretch is just fine too. This is a little bit stronger stretch. So if you've been feeling like you want to work on that Achilles tightness or calf tightness, this is a really good one for that. All right, while we're here, let's go ahead and do our downward facing dog. You can either do the chair version or down on the mat, whatever is right for you. Remember to press your hips back and try to lengthen your spine so that you're stretching the back, shoulders, hips, glutes, hamstrings, and calves. Okay, good job. Let's go ahead and come down. If you're comfortable coming down to the mat, you can do so. Otherwise, if it's a bit too much to come down to the floor, it's okay to just stick with the chair stretches. Totally fine. I'm just going to show you some variations here on some of the things that we've already done in the chair. Make sure that you're hydrating. And we're just going to start with the hands behind you. If you're comfortable sitting cross-legged, go ahead. You don't have to do that part. What we're going to do is arch the lower back. So hands are behind you on your mat. You're going to lift your chest and look up. So this is just a nice stretch for your back here. Release that out, and then we'll just do that one more time. Okay, then we're just going to let ourselves collapse forward a little bit, releasing any tension out of that back. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders. Okay, and then I want to show you the seated or the down on the mat variations for the figure 4 stretch and also the kneeling lunge stretch. So the figure 4 stretch you can do either sitting up like I am, or you can do it lying on your back if that's, if you feel like you're going to roll back, you can do that as an option too. I'm just going to do the seated variation here. So it's similar to what you were doing in the chair, but here you have the opportunity to bring the knee in closer to your chest or your chest closer to your knee. Again, you're just going for a comfortable stretch. So if this is a little bit too much for you, totally fine to stick with the chair variation on this. This is just going to give you an opportunity to get a little bit more traction here. Again, you can do it lying on your back, same kind of thing. Switch sides. And of course, you can do all of those self-massages that we did earlier, and I'm going to show you some extra things that I do here. I'm not going to try and show you everything with the ball and the foam roller because you wouldn't be able to see it with the camera angle, but I'll describe it for you. So same kind of thing, chest towards the knee or knee towards the chest. Going into your stretch there. All right, so the kneeling lunge stretch is just coming up into high kneeling position and then one foot forward. So we're right here. And again, the advantage of this is that you have a chance to get a little bit more traction. So you have the ability to bend that front knee. If you want to deepen this, you're really going to feel this in the hip flexor. So again, if you've been sitting a lot, this area is feeling shortened up, tight on you. Just be sure that you're not bouncing or overstretching there. I'll show you this and then I'll show you one more that's a little bit more quadricep focused. Okay, so switching sides, step forward. If you want to have a chair next to you to hang on to, that's fine too. And again, your option is to bend that front knee a little bit more so you can increase the stretch on the front of the back leg. So this is your working leg here. This is just the leg that's providing the traction. All right, and then the other quadricep stretch that's more quadricep and less hip flexor focused is doing this seated stretch. So you're going to have one leg forward and the other leg, you're going to have the knee to the outside. Then what you're going to do is lean back onto the opposite elbow. This one can get strong, so just take it slowly, go to a comfortable stretch, but you're going for that front of the thigh stretch there. And same thing on the other side, one leg extended. The working leg is the one that's back. You can go back as far as you want, and then a little lean back onto the elbow. Again, just make sure that you're not overstretching. You don't want it to be painful. All right, let's come back up and let's do our hamstring and calf stretch. Hi, Tater. They can't see me, Tater, when you're in front of the camera. I love you. All right, so this is similar to the one that we do in the chair, and remember, of course, that you can bend the knees. So if you can't reach your toes, totally fine to bend the knees. I always bend my knees. The goal is getting that calf stretch as well as the hamstring stretch. And enjoy looking at my dog. And hopefully you get the idea. Yes, I love you too. All right, so I wanted to explain to you a few other things that you can do for the self-massage. So either in the chair or down on the mat, you can do self-massage for that piriformis area. Let's see, what else did I want to go over? I know you. All right. Oh, and then I wanted to also go over the inside of the scapula and the IT band rolling as well. So, like I said, I'm not going to bring everything out with the camera angles. You wouldn't be able to see it anyway, but I'm going to describe to you what you can do. So, either in the chair or down on the mat, you can do self-massage of this piriformis area. So, you're just getting your fingers in there and doing little circles, either one hand or both hands. You're going for any tight or slightly painful areas, and the goal is just releasing that tension, releasing that stuck fascia. So you can go in little circles both directions, or you can get a small ball like a golf ball, a lacrosse ball, even a tennis ball, and just do the same kind of thing. So the same sort of circles. Again, either sitting in the chair or down on the mat. And then another option for this is using a small ball. I use a softball, but you might want to do something smaller like a tennis ball, and you just putting it down on the mat and then angling your body so that you're sitting on the ball. And that you can roll around on that, and that can help release some of that tension. Now that's going to be more intense than just doing it externally. So make sure that you control how much tension or how much pressure you put on there. All right, so you're controlling how much you're leaning back. My helpers are back. This is the problem with doing this outside. Yes, everybody loves you. All right, so same thing on the other side, just doing the self-massage, the piriformis area with the fingers, just doing the circles, both directions. Again, you're just going for, if you have a tightness in there, you're going to feel it right away. You're going to know where it is. So you're just trying to get that, gently get that out of there. And then same thing, if you want to sit on top of a lacrosse ball, or excuse me, a tennis ball, this could also be done with a foam roller too. So you're basically doing like a figure 4 position where you're sitting on the ball or the foam roller and moving back and forth so that you're releasing that tension out through sitting on it. But again, that's going to be more intense. So you want to use your hands to brace your body so that you're not just collapsing down on it and putting so much pressure. You don't want it to be extremely painful. And then of course another tight area that people get a lot is this IT band. Now this is the band that runs up and down the outside of the leg from the knee to the hip. So, can you move over a little bit? Or I'll move over? It's all good. All right, so all the way up and down, if you do a lot of walking or running or forward movement, you could have some tightness in there where the fascia is getting stuck. Same kind of thing as for the piriformis. You can either use the fingertips, You want to make sure that you do the whole thing all the way from the outside of the knee to the outside of the hip. So you're working your way up and down. Most people will have a point somewhere along there that's extra tight or sore. So you're going to focus more time on that tight or sore area, but make sure that you do the whole thing. So massaging, it's going to take a little while going up and down, but make sure that you get that whole thing with a little extra focus on any tight areas, any sore areas. Make sure you do both sides on that. Again, you have the option to do this on a foam roller. I wouldn't try to use a ball for this, but you can do it on a foam roller where you're lying on your side and rolling up and down. Again, that gets a little bit more intense, so you want to control the pressure on it. Another option is also using the foam roller for the quadriceps. If you have tight, sore quads and hip flexors, you can roll back and forth on those. You can roll your calves on the foam roller. Basically, you know, you can pretty much roll any muscle group on there, just adjusting the angle of it, but just making sure that you're supporting yourself so that you're putting some pressure on there, but not too much. So anyway, that is pretty much it for that. So let's go ahead and do, Tater, you want to help us do our final stretch here? So you can do seated, kneeling, or standing, of course, with this one. I'm just going to let you finish with your final stretch here. Make sure that you're lengthening your spine before you start. Great big breath in as you inhale. Exhale as you open out. Good. Let's do that one more time. Say hi, Tater. Tater tot. Inhale and exhale. All right, everybody, have an awesome day. I hope that was a little bit helpful for you, a little bit beneficial, give you some tips there, and have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.